So it's the black folk and it's the niggas. We need to figure out how to get them niggas. All right, we need to get them up out of here. We ain't never had that conversation. We just know it when we see it.
We break it down, no script, no mold. Raw and uncut, every gem is gold. Locked in now, let the facts unfold. Q bringing heat on Truth Be Told.
Yo, what's going on, squad? Welcome back to the Truth Be Told podcast. I'm your host, Q, and check this out. For those of you that don't follow the internet or trending topics, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to find this information, bring it back to you, and offer my perspective on it and ask you for yours. Now, for those of you that do follow trending topics, this next one may be a little bit familiar to you. Now, there is a term that is heavily going around the internet right now called black fatigue. And just to give you a little context, black fatigue is a term that has now been coined to demonstrate the frustration that people are having with not black people, but right? And we're not talking about just white people or different cultures. We're actually talking about black people that are frustrated and fed up with other black people. Now, I know that we all know who we're talking about. Right? And for the most part, the culture is not like this, but this is the way that society and this is the way that social media is depicting the culture. It's not picking up on those of us that are family men or family women or family orientated with kids and have jobs and go to work and have dogs and picket fences and just living regular lives, living good lives. It's not depicting us in that particular sense. What the internet is showing us is what the other side is doing. Now, that's not to say that what the other side is doing should get a pass. Absolutely not. Because that's what black fatigue is kind of founded on. Now, there's a podcast that I watch of a young kid called Ty Boogie. And he does a wonderful, wonderful job on trending topics. And he basically spoke on this subject matter. I'm going to show you a clip of what Ty Boogie had to say because it runs in alignment to my thinking as well, and I don't want to do a whole lot of talking about it. I'll make sure Ty Boogie gets his credit on this, and then we're going to talk about what you guys think.
See, the word fatigue is more so saying I'm tired. It's not saying I don't love you anymore. It's kind of like having two kids. One kid is always bringing home good grades. The other kid is always getting phone calls called home from the teacher. You're fatigued character of that second kid. I want you to get your act together. And it's not about you guys being in the hood. It's not about people being in the hood. I still have family in the hood. And so it's not about I'm looking down upon those that are in the hood. No, I'm looking down upon the people that have bad character that is still in the hood, or the people that have bad character that's just in culture. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I moved to Georgia back in 2011, 2010, and I wasn't living in the hood. But I was around more black people than I was when I was in New York. And I realized it's a cultural thing. So it's not so much about the placement of the people. It's fixing the understanding of what being black is. For too many people, they see being black as what they see in the music videos. They follow their favorite rapper instead of looking up to their black mayor or their black lawyers in the neighborhood. Because what is publicized is our rappers, our crime. And then we rap and talk about the crime. Now somebody will say, yeah, but you know, the white man is the one that's promoting that music. Yeah, but we're the ones that's listening to that music. We don't live in a day and time where we are forced to think a certain type of way. We can wake up and say, wait a minute, I'm not going to keep playing the same game that has been getting played on me. At any moment, we can wake up and say that. But that takes a level of accountability for us to look at our fellow man and say, yo, we're not doing that over here. We're not rapping about stuff like that. Anytime I listen to a song and it's talking about killing niggas and stuff like that, I'm like, why are we talking about hurting each other? I don't get that. Like, I see black people, I see that as we playing on the same team.
Okay, so there you have it. Now that's Ty Boogie giving his perspective on it. I love his perspective because it's not being disrespectful. It's not being disgraceful. It is holding our culture accountable for what we are demonstrating to the public. So again, this term black fatigue is not only relegated to white people, and what they think of black people or Chinese people or anybody, it's more closer to home. It's about what black people are thinking about black people. You guys weigh in on me. Is black fatigue a thing in your space? Now, one of the things that I've gotten already is there's some that are saying, well, white people are not showing white fatigue, and the Chinese people are not showing Chinese fatigue, and the Mexican people are not showing Mexican fatigue. Well, I'm not going to say that, because with our Hispanic community, a lot of y'all was hoping that the president got the rest of them out of there. That was kind of weird. But I'm getting a lot of these other cultures are not publicly outing their own culture. This is where we fall short. We got to make a firm distinction in accountability versus embarrassing people. That's two different things. What we shouldn't be doing is out here embarrassing one another, because there's enough internet coverage where we are embarrassing ourselves. But we have to hold our own community accountable. We should not be waiting for someone else to do this. So remember, when we were growing up, you remember that village? If I got in trouble, if I did something at the end of the block, by the time that I got home, the Chatham, Miss Chapman, Mr. Cheatham, Miss Brown, everybody got a chance to tear into me before I even got home. That was the village. Nowadays, nobody can talk to you, nobody can touch you, nobody can say anything to you, nobody can hurt your feelings, because again, we become too sensitive to being criticized. We become too sensitive to being or the criticism to even be constructive. We have to get back to where we are holding one another accountable. It is not my job to speak on another race in terms of holding them accountable about what they're doing with their race. We're not talking about their everyday lives. We're talking about what they're doing within their race. It is my responsibility to talk about how we can better our culture. And black fatigue was a prime example, and probably right on time, and a pretty touchy enough subject to where we can talk about this. Give me your feedback. Let me know. If you've seen it online, let me know what you think about it. Let me know if this subject should be publicly talked about, or is this something that we should be doing in the home only? Again, thank you for coming to the Truth Be Told podcast. Until next time, I'm your host, Q, and I'm out.